Hey, Michelle. Glad to have you on. Angelina, you made it. I miss you, girl. My thing is just a little high. Let me see if I can bring my phone down a little bit. Hey, Brooke. All right. You should see my desk. I feel like a real techie here. I got my phone, Facebook Live. I've got Google Handouts just in case something messes up over here and over here. And we got this. And so hopefully nothing's going to mess up. And we're going to keep on going. But this keeps sliding. Oh, it sure does. That's why I'm at an angle. You guys are like looking at my nose. I need to look at you like this. We're going to wait just another minute. Yep. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Look at you guys. So, does anybody notice anything different in my background? Do you notice over here my great big massive printer is gone? So I'll show you what I did. So here is one of my credenzas. And so hopefully you're not getting dizzy. So over here I had 3 of them in a row. So now I just have 2. Actually gave me a little spot over there for my starter kit and all. And then I'll just keep swirling. So there's my actual desk. And so there are my printers now. My laser and then my regular one is right there. Hey, Samantha. There's my assistant's desk and the brand new chair that I got her. And she hasn't sat in yet. So hopefully Callie will be back soon. And my computer is over that way. But here behind me, I have my laptop and my phone. And there's all my charting. There's my inventory. Oh, somebody wanted to see this one. So while I'm killing time, I'm going to show you this right here. This is my inventory. Okay, so obviously the shells. I like the short ones. But these are those little like nuts and bolts boxes from like Home Depot. And that's how I store. These are all my eyeshadows, mascaras, Endless Performance, lip glosses, concealers, lipsticks and glosses, eyeliners and such are up here. So there's my store.
And then there's my starter kit stuff right there. See? One day, maybe in the Mary Kay way, I will show you that. Hi, Lily. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Leah. Hi, Jessica. Wow, so many people on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It is 9:01 and our broadcast on Hangouts, which of course everybody in Hangouts, you did not just get to do that tour, so sorry about that. So, okay, today's session, the Mary Kay way. Hold on, let me try this one more time. Hold on. Oh, I know what it is. This little sticky thing is slick, and that's why my stand is sliding. Yep, it's going to keep sliding. So we'll do the best we can. Okay. Mary Kay said, remember, if you do the things you ought to do when you ought to do them, then someday you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. And so today's training is, hey, Mikhail, today's training is on actually priority management. And I learned this from you, Nicole, on priority management, which is time and money management. So we're going to talk about that today because Mary Kay actually has a book, and I was looking for it earlier and not exactly sure where I have it. I have books kind of all over the house. But it was Mary Kay on money management. It was one of the best reads, and you could probably go into Amazon. Hey, Mary. Hey, Sharon Steele. Oh, how exciting to have you on. But you could probably go into Amazon or something and look up Mary Kay on money management. I think is what it's called. Or you can have it all. Anyway, it's on money management. It was amazing. And maybe I should have pulled that up because I did a whole series of traveling and training on that probably maybe 10, 15 years ago. It's whenever they had VHSs because somebody recorded it on a VHS and then I had copies of a VHS and used to give them out. Isn't that interesting and fun? Okay, so Mary Kay often said, I truly believe that, and I've heard her say this many times, I truly believe that anyone can succeed if she will simply use 3 important steps to becoming successful. Hey, Amy. First, good planning. You must know where you're going or you simply cannot reach your destination. Most people do not plan to fail. They simply fail to plan. Heard her say that a lot. The second is persistence. When you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. Successful people are just ordinary people with extraordinary determination. And third, of course, is work. The company offers you every tool you need to achieve success, but nothing will work unless you do. So I thought those were a couple of really great quotes from Mary Kay. And like I said, I remember those words coming out of her mouth in her sweet little way and her sweet little, the way that she would, and of course, the third one is work. Um, you can't, God can't move a parked car. So what stops us really from working? Let's kind of talk about that just for a second. What usually stops us from working is that we're not aligned with our priorities. Okay, so that's why I'm really calling this class priority management, of getting your priorities in order. God first, family second, and career third. I went through a stage, and I can't remember, I've shared this recently. I don't know if it was on one of these, but I went through a stage when we moved to Winchester, Virginia. The kids were in second and third grade, I think, something like that, second and third grade. And CJ's income had doubled, which then took away the need for my income. So then I was trying to figure out, like, well, what do I want to do with my Mary Kay? Actually, because of the move and the kids were having such a hard time adjusting to the country life from the city life of Charlotte, North Carolina, and going to the small town of Winchester, that we were in qualifications for my pink Cadillac #2. We were in one, and I chose not to requalify because I wanted to take that time and really focus on the kids. and their adjustment to this new, small town. So because of that, then I also had to come up with, well, what do I really want to do with my Mary Kay? What's going on? Well, maybe I don't really want to be a director. I was feeling guilty because I wasn't helping people, because I was helping my family. We bought a 6,000 square foot house with a pool on 5 acres. And so there was no landscaping. So all of a sudden I became this landscaper. And anyway, it was just a new stage of our life. And I was on a call. I was actually going to resign my directorship. And I was on a call with Gloria Mayfield Banks. Some of you may know her. I was on a call with Gloria, and she started asking me questions because I really had decided I was going to retire. Because I figured, everybody has the right to retire, so couldn't I just retire? And she said, if I could take away the guilt of being a minimum director. Okay, if it's skipping too bad for you guys, then you can switch over to Google Hangouts. I don't know why it's skipping. So I'm going to keep going. So for those of you who are on and can continue to on, hopefully it'll work its way out. If not, switch over to Google, where I posted the link for it in the different Facebook groups. Okay, so I know Michelle's going to switch over to Hangouts. So I'm going to keep going. So anyway, so I was going to resign. And then I decided, after talking to Gloria said, if I could take away the guilt, would you stay a director? And I said, yes, I would. And she said, well, poof, the guilt is gone. She said, Mary Kay used to sit at the tables with the top directors, and she would point her little fingers at them, and she would say, please tell me you did not. She says, you can't find the Hangout. Go to, it should be right below where this live is, and it should have let me go over here and look. Oh, if I open it, let me see if I can do it from here. It should have been posted on there, Michelle, and I just don't want to open up too many pages because I'm afraid it's just going to make it skip a little bit more. Is everybody okay with it right now? Okay. Yeah, for some reason my internet is going slow. So I'm going to close out of here, but it should be down there. Just scroll down the page a little bit more, Michelle. Yeah, it says right there, the Mary Kay Session 3 Google Plus. It's on the Google Plus on that Facebook. So let me close that so I stop using. Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, Mary Kay said you better not be sacrificing your family for this goal. So she, wait, she says it's not working. Well, I think they said this one's working, so we're going to keep going. If you can't watch it on the Google Hangout, I will repost it. It'll actually be a YouTube at that point, and it will be live. I mean, you'll be able to watch the recording. Okay, so anyway, it's such a good story. I got to keep going. So she said that Mary Kay, so at the top director trip, when Mary Kay was with us, they always left a seat at every table so that Mary Kay could come and sit and talk to the directors, and she would say, you better not have sacrificed your families for this success. And then she would say, I want you to go home. I want you to put your priorities in order, and I'll see you here next year, and I'll see you wherever they're going to be that next year. So she never expected them to lower their goals or change them. You can still have what you want to, but she always, always, always truly believed in God first, family second, and career third. and she was always working with us. Um, Somebody said, click the right for the link. Okay, so you guys can read what people are saying. So I'll let you guys read what each other are saying if you guys can help each other out. So that was so important to her, which is why, like, the first thing that she wrote down on her piece of paper when she started this company is God first, family second, career third, and thinking like a woman and creating this opportunity. And so let's talk about how Mary Kay said, having a good plan. What is it? A good plan, persistence, and work. Good plan, persistence, and good work. Okay, so what's the plan? So first of all, that has to happen. You have to decide what you want. You can't just be in business and just kind of hope success is going to come. Now, I know those of you who are on this call, because I'm watching who's getting on, those of you on the call, you have a desire and you have a goal. And it's probably a pretty quick goal for especially everybody I want on this call to be in New Orleans with me. Our goal is to have 5 rooms with 4 each of the power area DIQs and directors to 20 of us. Can you imagine how fun it would be to have 20 of us in New Orleans? I just get so excited. It makes me like hyperventilate. But anyway, okay. So good planning. Know what you want and then map it out. You guys, this business is not magical. It's mathematical. It is simple and easy. Okay, you guys ready? So let's do some of the math here. Now these are company averages, so we're going to go with company averages, but you need to know your average. You need to know what is your sale average. You need to know what is your recruiting average. But I'm going to give you company averages because they will eventually average out. Okay, so let's say for holding an appointment, if you book 2, you're going to hold 1. I don't know why I'm taking notes on myself. That's kind of weird, but I am. I'm taking notes on myself. So if you book 2 and hold 1, okay? So if you want to have a 3-party week, you're going to end up having to book 6 parties because things happen, okay? Another average is interview 5 and you'll recruit 1. Interview 5 and you'll recruit 1. New recruits, the average, company average is $1,000. So a new consultant coming in is $1,000. So if that's your average, if you recruited 5 people this month, okay, you would instinctively say that the average would be 5,000 in production. What does it take to start car? 5,000 in production. Okay, but if you recruit 1 this month and she starts off with the 5,000, then the averages change on her reordering. Okay, so that's new recruits first order. Company average is 5,000. Now, the average as far as unit team members ordering is 30%. I've heard $1 million directors who have said when they do that big push at the end, they could get as many as 50% who will order. When it's a big goal, big push, big team, like they're all in. Everybody's all in for this big goal. Okay, 50%. So if you have 2 unit members, it's no wonder that they order none or 1. If you have 3 unit members, you may have 1 order once a month. So these are averages that you can't really mess around with because they're 53 years old. Okay, so the average is 30%, but big goals, big push, lots of momentum, you can get it to 50%. So the averages, 1 out of 5 are going to recruit, meaning you need 4 no's. But when you've got momentum, I've recruited 1 out of 2. When you've got a lot of momentum on your side. And so there's a little bit of a difference when momentum is set in. That does kind of accelerate those averages, but it's still not recruiting everyone. And it's still like, if you want to be in your red jacket, don't think you can just talk to 3 people and you're going to be in your red jacket. Chances are you're going to need to talk to 15. Or you can be like me, and I hope you're not, but I talked to 30 people before I got my first recruit. Talked about that, I think, last week. 30 before I got my first team member. Okay, here's another average. This was given to us by Mary Kay at New Director Training Week. Sweet little Mary Kay was standing right up there. And, well, I won't even go into that whole other story. But anyway, I still remember seeing her, picturing her, and she stood there and she said, let's talk about the averages of team building. And when you have, like I'm picturing her, when you have 3 on your team, 1 will buy a starter kit and do nothing with it. I mean, they'll do something with their starter kit, but nothing else with the business. Okay, we call those the kit snatchers. So you'll have 1 out of 3, 1 will be a kit snatcher. And then the second one may order once, twice, maybe 3 times, but they're fickle. These are your fickle fannies, frannies, fickle. Anyway, these are your fickle people, and they're going to come in and maybe just do a little bit. Okay, then you have the out of the 3, then you're going to have 1 that's going to do something. She may hold a couple appointments, be a star consultant, maybe even move up into red jackets. As directors, Mary Kay taught us that 10% of your unit will move. 10% of your unit will move. So what she means is like either move up, will be moving and selling more, only 10%. So she taught us as directors to work with the brand new people and getting them and working with them. And you work with the few, which is that 10%, and you. The new, the few, and you. Okay? So if you're wanting to go on target for your car and you already have 5 people that are on your team and you don't have anybody know, what I see is consultants like trying to squeeze, what Mary Kay said, squeezing blood from turnips. Like you're just trying to get them to place 1 order or just 1 more time, or, doing bribing them. Well, if you place an order, I'll give you a microdermabrasion set, or those kinds of things. And that doesn't usually work because of the law of the averages. So if you have 5 on your team, 30% are going to order, which means 1 or 2 people are going to probably order. Okay. Now the average ordering size, I'm not mistaken, it is still $250. So the average consultant ordering, once they've done their first order, is going to be $250. So when you know these numbers, it's not going to surprise you. It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I believe it's 1 out of 5 book. When you actually talk to and have a conversation, 1 out of 5 will book. So that means if you're doing book 2, hold 1, 1 out of 10 hold. So how many people are you actually talking to? And I know the 21-day challenge is about talking to 10 people in a day. There's a reason for that. There's a magic in that. Okay, so knowing your numbers. And there's even more numbers. Like once you become a director, there's so many other averages that I could give you. But today we're just going to talk as a consultant and these averages. Okay, so priority management, knowing good planning, knowing what you want, and then knowing how to get there. Sharon Hale, who is still one of, I think she was a team leader last month, team leader and still a very active unit member in my unit, decided that she wanted to test out this theory. And so she took a deck of cards and she taped them to a big poster. Okay. And so for every interview, that's a no. You write their name on a number. For every interview, that's a new recruit, you put them on a face card. Okay, so it's like she's magic marker, what, Sharpies. I know that was old school. Sharpies. Are you guys there? Somebody send me some love. If you're on the Hangouts, I think you can chat with me. If you are on the Facebook Live, I need to make sure you guys are there. Yay! Y'all send me love. Oh, thank goodness. I was concerned that nobody was out there. Okay. So, good planning, decide what you want, how you're going to get there, talk with your director, and there, giving me love. That's what I needed to see. on what it's going to take to get there. So let's talk about car. Okay, so let's look at car. And I'm going to write this down, so I want you guys to write this down. This is August. It is August 22nd. So we still have, it looks like that's 7, 8, 9 days in this month. I've seen this happen, y'all. 9 days in this month. You're going to need to recruit 5. Let's say you have none on your team right now. To recruit 5, you're going to need to interview 5 times 5 is 25 people. So you could take, oh, by the way, Sharon Hale did the poster, and it completely played itself out. Started at DIQ, was actually a director for several years before she retired as a director. Like I said, she's still in our unit. But she was like doing it to prove that it wouldn't work. And in the process, she became a director. Numbers work. Numbers. It's not magical. It's mathematical. Okay. So 25 people. So you take a piece of paper and you write 1 through 25. And I was going to show you. Oh, we can do this too. So you write down 1 through 25 and you start interviewing. We talked about how to do interviews and how to overcome objections on the last 2 calls, the Mary Kay ways. So you can go back and review them. But you start sharing Mary Kay with them. And it starts off with, have you ever considered doing what I do? I think you'd be great. That was from Mary Kay. Would you ever consider doing what I do? I think you'd be great. And then wait for her answer. And she's going to be like, oh, girl, I'm too busy. I can't do it. And 90% of the time, when somebody gives you a compliment, what do? You push it back. So those pushbacks from them, you have to realize, is not necessarily a real pushback. That could just be you complimented her, and so she's going to push back. So then you can say, well, you know what? It may not be for you, but I would love to tell you more about what I do, just to see if it's something you'd be interested in. I believe in setting up your interview to be so non-threatening so that she totally feels like what I've called that the back door is open. That it is not an all or nothing. Like, girl, you've got to do Mary Kay, and we're going to sit down and I'm going to talk you into it. I want her to know that is exactly what I'm not going to do. It's just sit her down and I'm going to talk you into it. But it's like, I want to find out if this would work for you. This may or may not be for you, but what do you have to lose to listen? Okay, so what do you have to lose to listen? Okay, so you want to do car. So you're going to recruit 5 in these next 9 days, which means you do 25 interviews. So if you do the math, let's see, 9 into 25 is 3.5. So we're going to say you need to do at least 3.5. So say 4. Let's just upgrade it. And if you get done faster, way to go. Okay, so 4 interviews a day. 4 interviews a day. So if you're going to do 4 interviews in a day, who are you going to talk to? Well, you're going to start off with all of your customers first. Every single customer. Don't prejudge whether they want to, whether they can, whether they need it. You just say, hey, this may or may not be for you, but I'm going to challenge to share a Mary Kay story with at least 4 people every day. Could I just borrow your ear? I just need to tell you about this. And in 20 minutes, because an average interview should only be about 20 minutes, in 20 minutes, we'll say 30 max. Okay, in 30 minutes, that is 2 hours. 2 hours every day in either 20 to 30 minute teeny little increments. And you could recruit 5 people. The company average is $1,000 plus whatever your order. That is over $5,000 in team production that you could have this month. Okay, so if you don't know how to interview, then your good planning, according to Mary Kay, that priority management is, okay, well, if my goal right now is to do 4 interviews and I don't have anybody to interview, what am I going to do? Well, you're going to book a party a day and make sure that you have one person, a friend, and she invites at least 3 people, and you're going to interview all 4 of them at that party because you're going to find a way, make a way. You're going to find a way, make a way. Okay, and then at the end, let's just say you do all the work and it doesn't. I did 30 interviews before I got my first yes. So let's say if you do the work, I can tell you that in doing the work, you are going to be further ahead. You're going to be further ahead, at least in the nose, that the next month, so September 1st, you start interviewing still, continuing. You may be like me, whereas I did 30 and didn't get any yeses, but then bam, 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 I was in my red jacket on target for my car. And so everything, kind of moved quickly after that. Okay, so those are kind of looking at your averages for good planning. Okay, let's go to time management. And again, priority management. So write down on your piece of paper, or you can even text it to us so that we can all see what everybody's saying. What are some of the things that take your time? What are some of the things that's taking the majority of your time? Is it your kids? Is it volunteering? Is it your dogs? I got 3 of them. Your children, or like whatever it is. Like, what are some of the things that you feel like if you looked at today, what did you do today? What took your time? Okay. A really great thing, if you are feeling like, if you work Mary Kay full time, it is really easy to think Mary Kay a lot and not do a lot. Okay. So part of that good planning is, what are you going to do? Not just what are you going to think, or are you going to say? What are you going to think, or what are you going to say? Okay. So, what are you actually doing? Okay. Then you have to look at what is taking your time, and you have to evaluate, okay, I'm going to these PTA meetings or whatever it is. I mean, I don't even know, because my life is so like in order now through years of training that I can't even remember what it was like to get busy. Like, I don't even know what it's like to be busy like that, because I keep, like, for example, when my kids were home and when they were in school, I only volunteered for things at the school. Of course, when they find out that you're successful, they're going to want you in everything. They want to sign you up for everything because they know, oh, she's a go-getter. We need to get her on all these committees. I only I only volunteered for things that involved seeing my kids. I did lots of field trips. Their whole elementary school, I could have lunch with them on Friday. So probably, but like probably 80% of the Fridays, I had lunch for them from when we went to Winchester. It was 4 years. So for 4 years, I had lunch with them almost every Friday because I could. That was spending time at the school with them. Now, because I was at the school a lot, they're always asking me, oh, can you do this or that? Field trips, yes. Work in the classroom, yes. Anything that involved me seeing my kids, I would say yes to, because that was my priority. But just to help out, which I know some people, that's their blessing, and that's fine, that's your priority, then you do that. But there was a lot of other things that I had to say no to in my priority management. Getting up in those early days or years ago, getting up early needed to become part of my time management. Getting up early, getting my little exercise routine in, getting some quiet time in before the kids were even like getting up and out the door. And then, of course, as they got older, I was waiting till they got out the door, and then I would have my quiet time and my coffee and my exercise time, and took care of all of that after they went to school. And so priority management is what is important to you. So Mary Kay said to pull out a weekly plan sheet. If you don't have a weekly plan sheet, you just get a little piece of paper like this, and you write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And if you don't work Sundays, just don't even put them on your calendar. Okay. And then the malls are open from 10 to 9. So can you. Okay. So then you write 10 to 9. And then you block in all of your faith time first. Maybe you do, Wednesdays at church and Sundays, which isn't even on my calendar, so I don't even have to do that. And then, your daily morning prayer time, or just maybe reading your devotional or something where you just take a minute to just get centered and regroup for the day. Okay, so that would go in here. Then your family time, things that are priority. Now, I had a rule for myself, probably learned it from Mary Kay, was that, um, especially when the kids were really little, I did mommy things when I was being a mommy. Okay. So when they were sleeping or at school or some of those other things, those are the times that I worked. The times that I did mommy things like laundry and cooking and kind of always had a cleaning lady, but anything like that that I might would do that's mommy things, I did those when I was with my kids because my priority was I wanted them to see me as a mom. I wanted them to see that role model as a mom. And then I worked when I didn't see them or when they were napping, kind of thing. And so that was a priority. Um, I know for Nicole, date night, Friday night date night. Of course, now it's hard with Donnie down in Florida and she's still here. They haven't moved yet, but Friday night date night. Even if it's in, at home, putting Crawford to bed when he was a baby, especially, and being able to have that date night time, that's a priority. That's something that you need to schedule in to your time. Ours was Friday family day. Ours was family night. It wasn't date night. It was always family night. So when the kids got off from the bus from school on Friday, I actually told my assistants when they were in school that if they saw my kids, they were fired. No, like really. But the point was, is that I didn't want them in the house when the kids were home. Because if they were in the house, I was going to like keep going back to my office and stuff. And when my kids got off the school bus for 2 hours, usually, they got off like around 3 until like 5 or so, it was total mommy time. I didn't answer my phone. I didn't, of course, do text messages, but I didn't have them back then. But I didn't do anything but homework, uh, getting dinner ready. Even if I wasn't going to eat with them, I always made sure I had dinner ready, or even what it was, the idea of what it was. We needed to run errands. All of those things were done during that time frame because that was mommy time. Then that evening, the schedule out that worked well for me and my husband. You have to work out, your own schedules, but my schedule was I usually took Wednesday nights off. I would work Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights. If I needed to do something on Wednesday, this is when the kids were younger, I would make phone calls. So I was in house on Wednesdays. Usually Tuesdays were my meeting nights, which left me Mondays and Thursdays for booking parties. And I could book anything during the day, especially once they were at school, but anytime during the day when my husband was at work. When they got home from school on Fridays, I did not work weekends until Nicole was 18. And she's what, 27? How old is Nicole? I don't even remember now. Like, I don't even want to know because how old are you, Nicole? 27 or 20? 27. Yes. 20. Horrible. Okay, so 27. So 18. So that was 9 years ago. Um, but for the first 18 years, I didn't work weekends because I did choose to work 3 to 4 nights during the week away from the house. Because of that, I chose to stay at home during the week or be at home or be available. And I can tell you that mentally, it's still really hard for me to work weekends. And it's because we usually do a lot on the weekends. We're always trying to schedule things and go places. And I travel a lot. And so I usually, that happens on the weekends. And so that was just my schedule. Cindy Fox, our national, she, during the week. Like she booked 2 days like solid, but then the other 3 days during the week that she didn't work. And then Fridays were always delivery, like bookings. So 2 days bookings, 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off. And then Fridays she would load up the kids and she would have all of her orders. And hey, Tiffany, all of their orders. And then it was just delivery day. So all day Friday was out doing deliveries. So really, you've got to plan what you want for your life. So those are just some examples of putting your weekly plan sheet together. But you need it to be, it needs to change. So when the kids were in school, mine changed for like it was football season, cheerleading season, like every time our schedules changed, I changed my weekly plan sheet. And so it would look different so that at a glance, I knew when I could work. So whether it was like Mondays right now is my in-house day. It's coaching calls, it's training calls, it's booking for the week. Mondays right now is I get to wear my workout clothes all day Monday. Then I decided to start doing these. So then I got to put my makeup on. Actually, I did have an interview today at the house. But anyway, but that's just kind of like mentally, I want to think of Mondays as I don't have to leave the house day. Okay. So whatever it is that you want, you have to plan your work. Remember, if you do the things you ought to do when you ought to do them, then someday you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. And what I mean by when you want to do them is based on because you have an unlimited income, because you have stability. With Nicole and Donnie moving, we're trying to decide when I'm going to go to Florida with Crawford, with Stella, do my husband's job. He can only take off and we're going to get him his plane ticket, blah, 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 from that Saturday to Saturday for Thanksgiving week. Hopefully, Stella is going to be born or be there during that time. But what if she comes late? What if she comes after Thanksgiving? What if she comes 2 weeks early? Well, I want to be there. So I've got right now, like my entire, after Chris's wedding, October 20th, besides Cindy's retreat, I'm going to be I'm going to book things for like that day or the next day. But I'm not going to be booking big events or anything like that. I'll make sure that the directors are on standby to, take care of my meetings when I need to go, and that will work out just fine. Sorry, Bam Bam wanted to get down. So color coding, if you want to see where your priorities are, color code. Do your weekly plan sheet and then color it so that you can see what is family time, when is church time, when is your relaxing, when is your me time. You got to throw in some of the me time too to make sure that you're rejuvenating. I always said that we're a lot like teapots. Can't pour into other people's lives if your pot is empty. Okay, so you need to take that time to fill up for yourself and take care of yourself. So I do get massages. That's something that I do to take care of myself and to rejuvenate myself. Sometimes I would just leave. Well, it was easy when the kids were in school and stuff. But when they weren't in school, they didn't have Starbucks back then. Can you believe that? They didn't have Starbucks. Just went to see Chelsea and Chelsea's wedding in West Virginia. Between us and her, it was 4 hours to get to a Starbucks. Chelsea Atkins, what do you do out there? Anyway, okay. So when you're working, Mary Kay, because the third thing she says, good planning, persistence, and work. So when you work, what do you do? When you're working, you're focusing on interviews, faces, and generating sales. Of course, generating sales is through the faces, but sometimes generating sales is customer calls. It's customer service. Maybe it's stopping by because the customer needs some product, stopping by and bringing a basket of sale things because they're limited edition items that you wanted to get rid of. Thinking about, okay, let's look at the schedule. What did I do, Mary Kay, this week? All I'm going to ask you is, what were your sales? How many interviews and how many faces? The rest of it is fluff. It's just the fluff that kind of needs to get done. But most of that fluff, you guys could hire a high school student to come over and take care of that stuff for you. And it'd probably cost you $20 and she will probably take care of in 2 hours what would take you 4 hours because of all your distractions. Okay. Another thing in time management, when I said what's taking your time, so this is one of the things that I forgot because I haven't cleaned my house 26 years. I haven't cleaned where's my love for that? You guys need to send me some love on that one. So 26 years. So I went to my very first seminar, 7.5 months pregnant, and she said, if you're cleaning in your house, then you're wasting time and money. Because how much is your average appointment? And then how much are you paying yourself to clean instead of doing an appointment? There's my love. Okay, so think about that for a second. So let's say always longer than a cleaning lady. Let's say it takes you 4 hours to clean your house. And you go to a party and you can, in 2 hours, you can sell 400, well, the company average is 300. So you sell $300, which is $150 in profit in 2 hours. So if you're cleaning your house for 4 hours, that's $300 you're paying yourself. So why not hire a high school student to come in for $10 an hour and you can pay her $40? So I took that to heart. Mary Kay said, get a cleaning lady. If you want to be a success, get a cleaning lady. I did what Mary Kay said. I came home and I told my husband, as we're barely paying bills, I was like, I'm just making enough Mary Kay money to, do the grocery, and I'm wanting, we're amping up to do more, but I'm still a consultant. Hadn't won my car yet. And Mary Kay said, hire a cleaning lady. So the very first facial I had, she really wanted the roll-up bag, but couldn't afford it. And I said, first cleaning ladies nowadays are big money. Now, back then, cleaning ladies were just kind of coming around. Have the Minute Maid, Mary Maids, whatever they are, didn't have all that. So, so the lady said, and I said, she really wanted it, didn't have the money to afford it. And I said, how would you feel about bartering? Like we could trade it because I'm looking for someone to help me clean my house. Now I had a 2-bath, kind of a great room, little kitchen, laundry room. That was it. So for 2 hours, and I paid her minimum wage and paid it off the starter, off her roll-up bag, $5 an hour, because, well, I guess minimum wage is $7 now, but it was $5 an hour. So for $10 a week, and I'll tell you what, one of the most easy breezy things, Sheetz. Yes, that is where we did, Brooke. We had Sheetz in West Virginia. That is what the coffee that we ended up drinking was. And I do love me some Sheetz. Their food, their salads are really good. Anyway, now I completely lost my train of thought. Somebody help me out. What was my train of thought? It was getting a cleaning lady. When you have somebody who's doing your cleaning, you don't even see your dirt anymore, because I don't care if my house is dirty because I know she's coming tomorrow. Like, she actually skipped a week, Brandy, and so she's going to be here now. And if I look around, I can see dirt, but I really don't have to look at it because she's coming tomorrow and I don't care. I'll tell you what, that is so freeing to not see dirt and to not worry about your house being clean was worth it in itself, because I was cleaning my house every day and my house was never clean, all at once, because I would clean a bathroom and then the kids would need me. Then I go clean another bathroom and then the kids would need me. And, so it would but my house was never clean at once. I love leaving when the cleaning ladies are here and then coming in and the house just smelling clean and crisp, and just love it. Anyway, so time management. What is sucking your time? And is that in alignment? Now, if you love to clean, keep cleaning. Just block off that 2-hour window of time and get it cleaned. Okay? Don't drag it out and then just basically pay yourself to be a clean lady. So that's something that brings you joy, then do it. Renee Horner, one of my Offspring sales directors, that was down in Florida, loved to do her laundry. Loved to do, that's one of the things as quickly as I could get that into an assistant's job description, I was having my assistants do my laundry. They still kind of help me with my laundry, and even though it's just me and CJ, that's pretty pitiful. And CJ does his own workout clothes. I know, that's so pitiful. But they still help me with my laundry because I'll put a load in the washer and then I forget about it. So every day they come in, either Greta or Callie, and they'll check my washer to make sure there's not laundry in there so that nothing gets soured. You know what I mean? So like they still help me. So anyway, I just went blank again. This is the bad thing about doing these late, is that the brain is not as sharp as it is first thing in the morning. So anyway, cleaning people, get that, whatever it is. Oh, she loved to clean. So that was something that she would never, delegate that out. So here's something to think about. When you're trying to get, your priorities in alignment, think about delegate, do it, delegate it, or dump it. Do it, delegate it, or dump it. Okay. So you're thinking about, like cleaning. Is that something you want to do? Do you want to delegate it, or is it something that doesn't have to happen? Well, cleaning the house needs to happen. Doesn't have to happen by you. Kids would have ever said, oh my gosh, my mom is a horrible mom because she never cleaned the house. The house was always clean. Doesn't matter who cleaned it, as long as it was clean. So time management is just really taking control of your priorities and aligning them with that. The other in priority management is money management. And maybe next week I'll actually pull out, that's what I'm going to do. So next week I'm going to pull out Mary Kay's book on money management, and I'm going to teach you the class that I used to teach 10 years ago on money management. But money management, just to give you a little teaser for next week, is about actually priority management. So if God is first, should come out your 10% or whatever your tithe is. I won't tell you what it's supposed to be, but should be your tithe to God. And sometimes it's not only the tithing, but it can also be your time. So giving God your time, not only your tithe. So that should be first. The second is your family. Are you spending money on things for your family that are going in alignment with what needs to be a priority? I have seen so many, but my sister, as a family that chose to put their 3 kids through private schools up until high school. And actually, Ava, her daughter, went through high school in a private school. And that was a priority for them. They made huge sacrifices to get their 3 kids through private school, Christian schools. But they were willing to make that sacrifice because that was such a priority. I gave my sister so much clothes because, she just wasn't buying clothes for herself because they were spending all this money for them. And so, like, why would I give her, brand new shirts and stuff that if I'm not wearing them, or maybe I worn them once or twice kind of thing. But anyway, so that was just a priority. So your money management, first of all, should be that priority. Oh, where's your, it's saying, Mary, that you sent me a message, but I don't see it yet. All right, I guess I'll get it when I get off the phone. Anyway, so money management is aligning your spending with your priorities. The other is, if you want more money, make more money. I know, I really did just say that. Give me some love. If you want more money, make more money. Women are buying every day what we have for sale. What we have for sale, women are buying. Why aren't they buying it from you? They don't know you have it. They don't know what you have. They don't know how to get it. Confused mind does nothing. It's a lot easier for them to run to the mall or Ulta than it is to contact you, because maybe even they bought from you in the past and they had to wait a couple of weeks before them to get something. And so those could be some of the reasons why they're not buying from them. All of those are fixable. Okay. Good customer service, having inventory. So when your customers do call, that you do actually have stuff for them to get and not having to wait. So if you want more money, all you have to do is make more money. And the two ways to make money in Mary Kay are simple. I already said I'm going to say them again. Y'all going to be so tired of me saying this. Interviews, faces, and sales. Ifs. If you do more, you're going to get more. And that goes back to the number 2 thing that we kind of started this quote with, and I'm going to read it to you guys again, which is persistence. Okay? Have you guys ever watched Shark Tank? Hit the love button if you guys have watched Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank. It's one of those things that I just love, the spirit of entrepreneur and the American way. And so I love watching Shark Tank. And so it really gives me a lot of fuel for like, oh my God, they need $100,000 and to start a Mary Kay business. I've already made 1.3 million in commissions. And they need 100,000 to hopefully get this thing sold. It's just like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. But anyway, I truly believe that anyone can succeed if they simply have these 3 important steps to becoming successful. This is Mary Kay. First is good planning. The second is persistence. And the third, of course, is work. So the third being persistence means that you have to, if you write out the word focus, follow one course until successful. Follow one course, not all the courses. Follow one course until successful. So what does that mean? And that means it could be your one course is like when Nicole moved to Pensacola, and everything that she's gotten has basically mostly come from, the time that she had in Pensacola, I should say, Pensacola, Macon, and now Indianapolis. The base of what she has established came from that. And she went to Pensacola and she said, I'm going to focus on one thing, and that's 30 faces. She did 29, and her profits with her team building, one on target for her car, was her bills were $1,100, and she profited 16. I think it was just under 1,600 in that very first month. How scary is that? You go and you rent a furnished apartment down, which is like 11 hours from me. She drives 11 hours to go be near her boyfriend at that time, now husband, to be near him. And she, no other job. And she said, okay, I've got to make $1,100. My follow one course, I've never heard anybody say, oh, I did a perfect start and nothing happened. She said every top speech that she'd ever heard is focus on a perfect start, focus. And that's what she did. She focused on that perfect start. So follow the one course. It could be your goal is to be in your red jacket. Don't stop until you're in your red jacket. Don't stop being persistent until it's done. I'll finish you with this, and that was when I wanted my first, to earn my very first car. I started wanting it about 3 months in. Let's say I joined in November, so December, and then career conference was in March, and that's when I really got the big picture, was in March. So here we go, March, and then we're going through, let's say I'm pregnant at this point. No, I'm not pregnant yet. Anyway, whatever the timeline was, but I didn't actually win my car until 18 months in. But after 3 months, I went 15 months. 15 months. I'm going to do it this month. Didn't happen. This month. Didn't happen. This month. 15 times in a row until finally it happened. And I was even trying to, you guys heard me talk about my Doomsday Friday, not the one I was going to resign as a director, but I was going to quit being a consultant. I think I'm froze. Well, I think the Facebook Live just ended. So for those of you who are over here, hi y'all. Yep, Facebook Live ended. So my doomsday Friday that I was going to quit because I was tired of not getting success. And so, or the success that everybody else was. I was like frustrated and annoyed because everybody else was getting all this done and I wasn't, achieving those things. And so I was going to quit. And then I ended up having an appointment because I had my booking. So I had an appointment for that Monday. This was Friday. That Monday, had a party. Actually, I had a party Saturday. I had a party Monday, and she signed up, and we were on target for a car that month. So don't give up. Don't quit just because it's not looking. If you're doing the interviews and you're doing the faces and you're selling at least $300 a week, something is going to come from that. It will. You just got to keep on keeping on. Maybe you need to tweak some things. I've always, at the end of every month, I always tweaked out, what did I need to do? What did I need to change? What did I need to focus on? And so each month I only focused on one thing. So let's say if it was closing my class and getting my sales higher, maybe it was that month I was going to be on customer service. And I took that month and I really focused. So that's still follow one course until successful. I really focused on that one thing, but I gave myself a timeline. There's some things you may say, I'm going to give myself a week, to really figure this out, ask lots of questions and really talk to some people. So with that, I just want to thank you for being part of session 3 of the Mary Kay Way. And this one was titled Priority Management. And next week, I will actually do my Money Managed class. I'm going to have to find my notes. I think they're in my drawer. I know the book's in the house somewhere. Anyway, have a great week. Bye.